They kept her in foster care for 5 years for a very good reason. It takes 5 years for the statute of limitations on sex abuse in New York to run its course. After the sex abuse ran its course, they handed the child over to the good and loving mother who had her enrolled in all these classes, a child who was always well groomed, poised, polite, and also had a very high IQ. No, of course not. Why would they do that? They gave her to the pedophile. Why would they do that, you ask? Well, they gave her to the pedophile so she'd have to recant out of terror, and a bonus, force her to go in court, testify and lie about her own mother, saying that her mother violated the order of protection that the pedophile cop had set up, and had her mother thrown in jail for 3 years. Now, this child didn't know that she was being used to set her own mother up and to place her own mother in jail. She's been so severely brainwashed and lied to, she actually thinks that her mother did something wrong. She doesn't realize that the things that she said when she testified in court 3 times were those things that put her mother in jail. So meanwhile, the child has not only been sexually abused, she's not only had her life torn apart for 5 years, lost her entire childhood. She's not only now with the pedophile, and any expert can tell you pedophilia is not curable. So you know what Daddy's doing to her. Daddy's having his fun because Daddy has the power. Robert Morgenthau won't touch him with a 10-foot pole. The New York City Police Department won't make an arrest. And even if they could, the DA's office won't permit it. So this child went from a loving home, 5 years in foster care, with cruel and abusive people, and then turned over to be continually sexually abused, and being brainwashed into believing that if anybody were to find out her father is abusing her, then nobody will like her and she'll never get a job. Yep, we have evidence that that's what the child believes. Now, there was a case in New York, I think it was in New York, actually I'm not sure, it might have been in New Jersey, but a young girl at the age of 18 years old tossed her little newborn baby that she just delivered inside of her apartment out of the window. Well, when the news first heard about that, oh, what a terrible mother. How could she have done such a thing? Well, there was a good reason for that, because the following day on the news, we learned that that child, 18 years old, is being sexually abused by her father and has been her whole life. That baby that she threw out the window was the baby as a result of the incest between the father and the child. This child, this 18-year-old, did what she only could think of doing, and that was to get rid of the memory of the father. Upon discovery of the infant, they found the corpse of a year-old infant beside it, or within the vicinity. And the corpse, which was a year old, was also her child from a year prior, also fathered by her father. So who's the real victim here? It's the child. She's 18 years old, and people ask, well, she was 18, she could have left. I have done much research on this. Incest and victims of domestic violence, when people say, well, why didn't the woman leave before he killed her? It's a power and control situation. These women are usually nice people, and they're weakened, brainwashed, and they're controlled by the abuser. This little girl can't leave, just like the other one couldn't. Sometimes they turn around and they kill the father. Then what? They spend 25 years in jail? That's what happens. The jury has no empathy because the judge's instructions are not to have empathy. So the victims spend many, many years in jail. They said that the girl who threw the baby out the window is facing a 20-year sentence. I find that pathetic. Now back to this cop. Back to the cop who raped and sodomized his daughter, and Robert Morgenthau's office, the district attorney of Manhattan, is not protecting this child. Well, why? Why? This child is going to be a victim of incest for a very long time. She's weak. She's not strong. She doesn't know where to run, and she doesn't know where to hide. She can't help herself. She relies on the adults to help her. But a family court judge by the name of Helen C. Sturm, well, Helen C. Sturm, she's not quite normal herself. Do you know this woman is in her 50s, she's never been married, and she's never had children? She's never given birth to children. And she can. It's not like there's something wrong with her. She's never given birth to children. If there's anybody out there who would like to do something to help, please call the number on your screen.